I'm Kat Miller. Welcome to the launch of Passionate Living's 3rd season. This journey of creating a show to inspire you, our amazing viewer, to live your dreams at an even greater level has done the very same thing for everyone on our team. We're so excited and inspired by each of the guests that we meet each week, and we know that this season's going to reflect this shared vision at an even greater level. I'm going to introduce you to some new members of our television family this season, and though we're going to be missing Samantha Latshaw in tea time, we're excited for the arrival of her little girl Layla at any moment now. Our first segment today is going to take you for a visit to the county fair, where my niece Rosina and I will be engaging with a performer who uses his love of juggling to light up our lives, literally. Next, join me on an adventure to an art exhibit like no other you've ever seen. I'll meet one of the curators who created this masterpiece and the man who helped to bring this show to cities all around the country. And finally, we'll be joining social media expert Stephanie Kennedy for some great pointers on how to bring your passion project to the world around you. You will not want to miss this part of the show. So sit back, get comfortable, and join me for an exhilarating journey into passionate living.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, these guys are going to do some amazing tricks for you.
It's almost an addiction.
Right.
It is so fun, and when I'm not juggling or doing shows, I am uncomfortable. So it's almost like something that has to be managed.
3, 2, 1.
I am here today with a very passionate man,
That's right. Extremely passionate.
John Parker,
Yes.
and Rosina and I are going to be able to watch your show today.
I love it.
But I saw you the other day, and you're just amazing. You can
Thank
see that
you.
you have so much joy when you're entertaining people.
What I do is really fun, and I'm fortunate to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, how did you get into this? How
I-
does someone become a man who spins dishes and rides a unicycle and juggles torches? I mean, how
Yeah.
does one find that, like, in a job?
When I was like 12 years old, I learned to juggle and was very taken with juggling. And there were street performers in the San Francisco Bay Area that I would see. So those things kind of coalesced to really draw me into this skill that was just really fascinating at the age of, 10, 11, 12, when, all things seem really, really interesting.
Bob, put your foot behind the tire. Hold on to the bike with both hands. Now look deep into each other's eyes.
I'm very lucky to have a profession that is so engaging. There's a concept in a book I read called flow, where if things are too hard, you get frustrated and you want to stop, or if things are too easy, it's not engaging, and then you also stop. So this for me is like right in the middle, where I'm continually working on the show. I'm involved in a community where I can ask for help on, and I'm always working on coming up with new things and trying to make the show better.
What's your favorite part of the show?
My favorite part of the show is when something unexpected happens in the show, and I react to it in a way that's not with one of my rote lines, and we can get laughter out of it.
You get the damn torch, lady? All of a sudden, she's doing sign language.
Like, if somebody out there was watching who has a passion for entertaining, juggling, what would you tell them to encourage them to live?
I would tell them 3 things. One, if you're having negative thoughts, just because you have a thought is a thought. It may be true, it may be not. So if your thought is, I can't do that, you don't have to invest in that. So that's number 1. Number 2, we can almost always do way more than we think we can. Making a living at this, for instance, right?
I'm about to juggle fire. I'm 59 years old. My mother thinks I'm a dentist. Are you ready to see this? And number 3, I've been exposed to something called fixed mindset, growth mindset, which has become very important in a lot of psychological areas. And fixed mindset is, it says we're born with certain qualities and we're either good at something or we're not. I'm a bad singer, but I'm really good at math, or I'm really good at drawing, but I'm not good at science. That would be a fixed mindset. We're born with certain qualities and they can't really be changed. And the growth mindset is, if I do something over and over and over again, I will get better. And this is what they're teaching in schools now. And I do a lot of school assemblies too. And I'll start. Ready? Throw! Throw! One last time. Throw! Throw! Yes, she did it! Come on, people, make some noise! I think that's phenomenal. So if somebody's holding back out there, have a growth mindset. Realize that if you keep doing something over and over again, you will get better. So those are 3 things I'd say.
I love that. You are like the ultimate passionate liver. Like
well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you very much, Kat.
It's like a big visual concert,
yeah, it's like a concert except without the band.
Yeah, without the band. Though there is music. There will be music, contemporary music.
So there's really something in it for everybody that just showcases, again, the power of images, the power of being surrounded by light and color and movement. There's something to it. You feel something.
I'm here with David Taylor. David, this is absolutely astounding.
Isn't it though? It's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this show and how it got started.
Well, it was created by the Normal Studios in Montreal and by their directors and artists. And now it's making its way around. It made its way around Canada, and now it's in the U.S. There are 17 cities in the U.S. and Canada.
Wow.
And it is quite the experience, isn't it?
Yeah, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, there's 4 trillion pixels in here.
Okay, I was going to ask, so 4 trillion pixels.
Yeah, actually over that.
Wow.
But who's counting, right?
But who's counting, right? Well, I am here today with a very special guest, Fanny Kirtot. I hope I said that correctly. And she is an art historian and one of the curators for the Van Gogh exhibit. And Fanny, you're up in Montreal, or?
Yes, I am in Montreal. The creative team was mostly in Montreal. We created the show from here.
Wow. Now, tell me a little bit about the history of the show. How did you end up creating this? Who came up with the idea? How did you put this together? It's just an extraordinary show, by the way.
Oh, I'm so glad you say that, because it was an idea. Actually, the producers contacted Normal Studio in Montreal about this idea of creating a show about Van Gogh. And for the studio, it was all about finding this sort of happy, harmonious middle between art historical object and cutting edge projection technology. And what would these tools allow us to say about Van Gogh? Because it's a bit odd to have an exhibit about him without any of his paintings. We don't have the actual objects.
Right.
So we don't have the aura of an original, which is something quite unique. You can't really replace that. And I encourage everybody to go experience it in a museum. But when you don't have the object, what else do you have? And it was all about finding the potential of these tools to create a story and really show the audience just how they can still relate with Vincent's work and how it's still very much relevant.
Yeah, there's over 300 paintings here. They're going to morph one into another.
Okay.
And when you first come in, the exhibit, you're going to be going through the educational history area where
Right.
you learn about Van Gogh and see his quotes and things like that. Then you'll be going into the waterfall room where
Right.
when you go through there, the paintings are going down the wall and underneath your feet. And then you come into this 11,000 square foot immersion room.
Wow, this is extraordinary. Now you're in the Western New York area till when?
This is here through October, but it looks like, probably quite a bit longer after that.
Oh, that's
what we're
wonderful.
hoping.
That's great.
Yeah,
I love it.
The first month or so is already sold out, so
That's great.
beyond that.
And I love that about the exhibit. I love that it actually takes the history and brings it to the current. That is just so amazing because so many times young people, they would be interested in these extraordinary masters from our history if they were brought into the present in a way that they could relate to. It takes something really precious from the past and brings it into the moment in a way that people embrace.
Yeah, I'm so happy to hear you say that because that's exactly the goal. It's really about connecting different types of experiencing the world too, because painting is that. It's Vincent's vision. He was one of the first to do that, to actually fight his way through and struggle. Nobody wanted that type of art at that time. It was new to just share his subjective vision. And so allowing these comparisons to happen with these tools, with maybe including some parts of society that we don't know what to do with, like Instagram. What are the pros and cons in the art world? How do you connect these two? How do you connect a 21st century audience with these frames of perception with a 19th century artist?
Now, what was it like bringing this to town? Because I imagine all the little the glitches that you have to work out. I know today we're a little warm. We're doing a sweat lodge here.
Yes, yeah, we had
As they fix the air.
we had a hose break. I guess it was a first time in like years. I've never had a hose break on the generator, but it did. So
It's inevitable.
It's inevitable.
It's just part of putting something like this together.
This is a multi-million-dollar exhibit, really.
Right.
And this tent itself came from Germany.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's
it's
amazing.
a 35,000 square foot pavilion tent.
That's extraordinary. Now, where has this show been exhibited? Where?
Miami, San Diego.
I saw it in New York, right?
New
It was in
York.
New York City.
Yes, it's everywhere. It's in Canada, Toronto, Vancouver.
Wow.
Yeah, it's making its way around. And most of those are all, if you haven't noticed, they're all major cities.
Right.
As we call major. But this is quite extraordinary for it to come here, because usually it bypasses us. It'll go from Detroit to Boston, and they wave as they go past. But
It's kind of the equivalent of the Rolling Stones playing Buffalo a few years back and not New York. So.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. And this time they didn't. This time they canceled, actually.
Yeah.
So good thing they were here a couple years ago.
And yet everybody's living sort of the same need to share. And it's very strong in Van Gogh, this sort of craving for beauty and this need for purpose. And so that was one of the main goals of this exhibit. And the main angle that we took was this idea of going beyond sort of the dark myth, because people tend to know Van Gogh only for the darkness in his life.
Right.
Cutting ear incident.
They're cutting the ear off, all of the things. Yeah.
Exactly. And the struggles. And all of this is true. But that's not what you see when you look at his work. You look at his work and it's vibrant colors, it's movement, it's life, it's joy, it's pure, it's intensity. And so that's what we wanted to focus on.
That's beautiful. Wow. And Fanny, you're not passionate about it at all, I can tell.
Yeah, really, it's just...
I love seeing that in you, because clearly your love of art history, of Van Gogh in particular, now that you did into this particular project, it's just so apparent. It just
flows out of you when you speak. It's so
true.
beautiful. And I do believe that when that kind of love and passion for a project goes into it, the results are remarkable. And they truly are, because I got to go to the exhibit on the very first day, and I couldn't even imagine. I'd heard it was amazing, but wow.
Oh,
Really?
yeah. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Something that I felt when I was sitting in there, in the room, in the main room, is just with the energetic that was created with such beauty and in being displayed in the way, you know, that it was on every wall, every part of the room. And when you sit there, it does all make sense for a moment. The art, the movement, the expression, it brings that sense of peace.
Yeah, and I'm glad you picked up on that, because I think it goes to show that even though our houses don't look the way Van Gogh's house looked, and the nature around us doesn't look like the countryside in Arles where he was, there is still some purity, some simplicity about the subject he chose, where we again are in a time of crisis and confusion. And to have somebody focusing so much on nature and the simplicity of day-to-day life, and it's just sort of a perfect fit for what we're going through, and very inspiring in the sense that, oh yeah, this was there before, it still is now, and that's what we need to protect, that's what we need to focus on. And so it's really reassuring in that sense, yeah.
So tell me some of the other things you're doing at the exhibit.
Every Thursday starting September 9th,
Okay.
we are going to have yoga here. Yes.
I love it. I love it.
Yes. April from Uplift Yoga and Strength is going to be here from 8:30 to 9:30 in the morning and doing yoga in this massive room. What else? Oh, we have Beyond Van Gogh beer through the Ellicottville Brewing Company, which you can buy in almost any store,
That's great.
restaurant,
bar.
bar.
That's wonderful. Your own Van Gogh beer. And it's a safe environment because everybody's wearing masks when they walk through the exhibit, right?
Correct. Yeah, we're not doing it for the interview.
For the interview.
For the interview, but everybody comes in, staff and patrons will be wearing a mask.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And it's easy to get tickets.
Incredibly easy to get tickets, but you can't buy them at the door. You can't come in and try to buy one here. You have to get them at vangobuffalo.com. Is really the only place you can get it.
All right.
Unless there's somebody scalping them up front.
Right.
But otherwise, always vangobuffalo.com is where to
For
go.
people that are watching in other areas.
They can just Google Beyond Van Gogh, and it'll show. Yeah,
it'll show their area
show
of how to
all the
get
other
tickets.
areas.
Oh, well, thank you so much, David. I really appreciate this.
Well, thank you for coming. It's going to be a beautiful event, and I hope you enjoyed being in here.
Ah, I love it already.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it?
It is. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this very special episode where we learn about social media. And Samantha Latchaw, as many of you may know from last year, who used to do tea time with me, is having a baby at any moment.
Oh my goodness.
So she's a little occupied.
Yes.
But Stephanie Kennedy, who is a social media guru, is here with us today, and she's going to be through this Season 3 of Passionate Living, visiting us from time to time and talking to us about how to get our message. If you're living your passion, you're doing your life's work, you want to get it out there to the world, it's really important to have your social media put together, right?
So there's so many things you can do on social media, whether you're a solopreneur or you are a business with over 500 employees, depending on where you're at in your social media journey with your business. There's so many things you can post. A lot of what I teach my clients is that knowledge is power.
Right.
So putting that knowledge that you have and showing that you are an expertise and showcasing that expertise on your social media is one of the most powerful things you can do, because you're offering someone to learn a new thing every day then.
And it's very important, right, in social media that your message is clear. I think a lot of people get really artsy and cute and witty with their message, but people miss who they are, what they're talking about in their branding.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What would you suggest when someone's branding their company?
So when you're branding your company, you're going to want to tie in the message that, like your mission statement. So when you're developing a company, you get that mission statement. Tying that into your theme, your colors, what message you're putting out there, whether that's in the form of inspirational quotes or it's in the form of quick videos to get your message across. That's something that you can do to really get your brand out there.
Right. And I think videos do really well on social media. I notice my Instagram and Facebook, when I do either a live stream or a video, the views go right up.
And right now, Instagram is favoring video because I think they're trying to do more of the TikTok algorithm.
Right.
So video is really favored right now. So people out there who are scared to do reels, I really suggest getting used to them.
Well, thank you so much, Stephanie, for spreading some light to our social media as people put their passions out there into the world. And until next time, have a passionate living week. Thank you for joining me on this very special launch into Season 3 of Passionate Living. This will be our most dynamic season yet, so make sure to join us each week on WBBZ on Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. and Sundays at 11 a.m. And if you'd like to see some of our wonderful shows from the first 2 seasons, go to our YouTube channel at Passionate Living TV or our website at passionateliving.com. Thanks again for tuning in, and wherever you are at this very moment, remember to thank yourself for all that you do in this world. You are a unique soul with the combined talents and wisdom that only you possess. Make sure to bring those gifts to the world around you by listening to your heart in relation to your greater life's purpose, and then use that passion to light up the world around you in an inspiring way. Join us next week on Passionate Living for an adventure in Costa Rica and much more. Until then, I'm sending you a great big hug and a blast of inspiration to live your dreams.